Hey Muses, it's T-Mann Tarot, your favorite tarot deck and content creator here on the interwebs. Hi, hello, and welcome. Welcome back, or hello if this is your first time here. I am so happy that you found my channel. My name is Tyler, as I already said, also known as T-Mann Tarot. My channel is all about reviewing tarot decks or oracle decks, whatever kind of divination systems that are out there so that you can decide whether or not you want to purchase this deck for your own, because a lot of metaphysical shops do not have physical copies that are open and available for you to. So my goal is to educate you on what the cards are like before you decide to purchase. Before we dive in, brain's running a mile a minute. You can tell that the caffeine is working. Love it. Before we dive into today's tarot deck review, please take a moment to subscribe, comment, like, turn on that notification bell, and apparently now there's some super so figure out how to do that, friends. But so that way you don't miss out on any other tarot deck review content. But today we are talking about Taro Chimera, an arcana of Odilin Redon, created by Nitasia Roland, and shout out to Wiser Books and Red Wheel Publishing for sending me this copy. So let's adjust our camera angles and dive into this week's review. All right, friends, we are all set up. Again, today's video is all about Taro Chimera by Nitasia Roland, focusing on the artwork created by Odilin Rendo. This came across my emails for an advanced copy, and I fell in love with the artwork. Somebody had commented on one of my other videos about the Gustave Doré deck, which I absolutely love. It has a very similar vibe to it. This is a completely black and white deck created taking the artist Odilin Rendo's artwork and curating it to a way to fit the tarot. Somebody in the comments on one of that videos was like, what's your take on this? Do you like this kind of genre? I really don't like it. I really kind of do like this genre if it is done correctly and done with care and taste, and really does emphasize the artwork and how they can kind of find that energy of what the tarot looks like. My husband and a lot of our group of friends, they are museum art enthusiasts, and while I love spending time with my friends going there, sometimes the art museums are not my favorite, and I actually tend to walk around with my pocket tarot and pull a card while I'm looking at the painting to kind of be like, okay, what energy is this painting trying to convey to me, and what should my big takeaway from this artwork be? And I pull a card, and then I try to find that energy in the art piece, because a lot of the times with my good old dyslexia and being overstimulated sometimes in the museums, I don't have it within me to stand and read the little descriptions, because that doesn't always make sense for me. So I love curated artworks along with the tarot. So let's kind of dive into the back of the box, the descriptions. A symbolist artist on the cutting edge of surrealism, Odilin Rendo was known for his unique artworks that visually explored occult mysteries. His imagery, evocative of dreams and the deep unconscious, contains dark, fanciful figures from Rendo's own imagination and represents an exploration of internal feelings and psyche. Rendo's imagery places the logic of the visible at the surface of the invisible, and thus provides the perfect pathway for the tarot of the a deeper dive into the transformative divination process to shield luminous light on your path. Following the traditional tarot structure, the Rider-Waite-Smith creator Nitasia Roland has allowed Rendo's imagery to naturally evolve into the major and minor arcanas, with the emphasis on the nature of the chimeric, dreamlike, illusionary transformative. Card interpretations drawn upon the numerous realms of spirit, encouraging the integration of the shadow and the growth of transformation. This deluxe box set includes 83 gilded-edged cards and a 200-page guidebook. There are oracle cards that Nitasia created in this deck, which are beautiful as well. You do or do not have to use them. It is completely up to you. Comes in this lovely carrying box, or this deluxe box. You can keep the cards in it or not. Inside of the box is lovely and illustrated. Chimeras are creatures of the imagination that carry dreamers away. I love this little, like, creepy skeleton guy. Love a little pull string to get everything out of the box. So here are the cards. So, gilded-edged cards. This is going to rub off. Point blank and simple. Gilded edges are pretty, but they are going to wear and tear really quickly. You might see it on my Fyodor Pavlov tarot, where the gold edges where you tend to shuffle the most, that's where it's going to come off. But that's just the nature of the beast here. When I got the preview deck, like the PR release for it, the first thing that was on their PR list was this High Priestess, which is absolutely stunning. This High Priestess sold me on the deck so fast. You can see that she is holding the book in her hand, and the light coming out from the book is the wisdom and knowledge she possesses. It just, I literally got this and I saw it and I was like, yes, yep, this is what I need. This is what I want to see. Great, cool. Just pulled out the oracle cards for when we get there. Again, black and white, illustrated deck. They are surrealism at its best. Best? Yeah. So interesting. Love the take on it. They are like they do have that like waffle finish in the cards. I don't know if you're gonna catch it. There's the texture in here that's gonna help the cards shuffle. Has a lovely little snap to it. They are not black core. You can, like, when you hold it up to the light, you can see through it, but nothing that's going to be, like, overly obvious as you're using the cards. Let's do the shuffle here before we kind of dive into the guidebook here. Ooh, they are really snappy here. They're doing that thing sometimes. Yeah, they're clunking together. They're not going together very easily. Maybe it is my deck, but it is like, you want to see even distribution. They're not necessarily doing that. Again, this is the first couple of shuffles, but interesting. Very, very kind of, it's not the smoothest and butteriest of shuffles that I've seen out there. All right, let's talk about things in the book. Okay. So, lovely, deep, illustrated guidebook. The concept of a chimera. The chimera is a mystic hybrid creature of antiquity. It is depicted with the body of a lion, with two heads, a goat and a lion, a serpent's tail, and a serpent's tail. It is a creature of strength and cunning, representing a symbolic and mystic connection with the wild feminine energy. The chimera is a conduit of fantastic dreams that can be embodied and cultivated within. Ambiguous, baneful, and sapphiric, its form is both attractive and repulsive. She is a promise of the idol with the body and the carnivorous beast, explains the French symbolist painter Gustave Moreau. Comes from she-goat, usually symbolizes toxic views of women as wicked. We also understand chimera is an adjective to mean dreamlike, illusory, transformative. Within tarot, the chimera represents aspects promoted in a deeper divine... Tyler Talks Take 2. Within tarot, the chimeric aspects promote a deeper dive into the transformative divination process to shield luminous light onto your path, transmute negative energies, foster positive experience, positive experience relatives, and reveal the occult aspects to the self, and shrouded in darkness and hiding beneath the surface, and the need for healing. A little bit, kind of. So it's kind of this kind of avant-garde, monstrous, dreamlike energy with this kind of animalistic notion to it. In the preface, they talk about the integrity and the artwork when Nitasia discovered the artwork and then started curating with it, and I thought that that was an interesting take. Keeping to the integrity of Rando's visions, I digitally enhanced his artwork due to the fact that the files straight from the museum's archives and libraries were obscured in dark tones, blurry, and not for optimal photo quality. I have strengthened their contrast, line quality, sharpness, saturation hues, and tones while coaxing out the illuminations by deepening the shadows. Many of the cards were sourced from Rando's Black Charcoal Noir collection. However, a few of the artworks originally in color have been desaturated into warm and cool duotones to match the overall feel of the deck. So this is what I mean, where it's handled with care, and when artists do work to make it more kind of crystal clear, which is going to be happening anyways, right? We can't imagine artwork from the 1890s is going to be the most crystal clear to be put into tarot. To ensure that a better fit for the tarot cards' symbolism and meanings, I have also digitally altered the collage by collage 11 for the 83 cards using only Rando's original imagery. I have placed an asterisk alongside the title of the artworks at the end of the book signifying the collections. Which, we'll hop to the end. I loved that in the back of the book, we have an artwork reference here. And it is so exciting to see where all of the artworks come from. So it might be interesting for me to go to the ones in New York City, right? Temperance, you can find in the Museum of Modern Art here in New York, right? So it might be fun and interesting to go see some of these artworks in person. As I stated, the High Priestess was the card that got me hooked, right? So let's dive into, it does have uprights and inversions in the book. So if you do inversions and the cards do lead to that ability to do uprights and inversions, if that is a part of your practice. So the High Priestess is the fountain of potent intuitive wisdom and secret knowledge. Revelation is her joie de vivre. The book becomes the talisman becomes the gateway that allows her to withdraw from the mundane world to favor for the spiritual. At this threshold of the liminal shrouded... Ooh! I know this is beautifully written. I'm just having an ADHD and a dyslexic moment. I do apologize. At the threshold of the liminal shroud in her garment of light, the veil symbolic of the numerous curtains that separate the world from the unseen. She traverses the byways of spirit. She is tuned into the infinite, She's in tune to the infinite, open to impressions. You get the picture. I'm tired of talking here right now with this. But really honed into the aspect right then and there where that simple art knowledge that this book lighting up is the simplicity of understanding the High Priestess, going into the wisdom to find your path and trusting your intuition. The Lover's card, if I can quickly find it after I've shuffled it. Well, we're going to talk about death, so let's have that card out. The Lover's card, in the description, right off the bat, because I kind of did a quick little peruse here, talks right away about the lovers being a choice and goes into that duality and goes into that simple understanding of the cards. We can see the lovers here. Forgive me, I'm so sorry. Beautiful Lover's card. Simple, not over the top, really. So that's kind of a beautiful take on that. A relationship, even when there is a lot of water under the bridge, the lovers can indicate making soul-honoring choices even when the mountain to climb to get there seems insurmountable. This is where we step into the true selves. Again, right? I think my favorite iteration of the Lover's card, again, is in that Fyodor Pavlov tarot, which is right there. That girl. You know, honoring, seeing the female to male and male to female representation binding their hands in the choice. Again, stunning, beautiful artwork. I just don't necessarily see the idea of choices right away in the artwork card, but I love that the description gets to the point of understanding that it is about choice. The Death card, because I'm a Scorpio, is one that I always tend to look at. It is, you know, death riding. It looks like he's carrying a sword and about to poke into something. Something is about to come to an end. The little first description, it says, never fear, the Death card is this Reaper riding out of obscurity to render your light. Prepare to be transformed. When you refuse or are unable to change because of blockages, this dark herald rides in, sweeps you off your feet, a whirl in the cycle, mesmerizing dance. Death appears to give you a deep embrace and kiss you from the shadowy self that you need in order to confront aspects or stop resisting. This is a natural transit that brings the current to the next stage of being from lower to higher, a metaphysical transcendence and rebirth. Beautifully said. So we have, additionally, Oracle cards. We have the Oracle card of Visionary, which looks like an eyeball. Genius Loki, looks like a little trickster. The Muse, and the Trickster. And just a little quickly, I'm not going to go into each one, just because my brain doesn't want to be working right now. So I'm just going to quickly read what this little caption says about these cards. It says, the following 5 Oracle cards were created for further chimeric interaction. These cards align with the main archetypes of the major arcana and each of the 4 suits in the minor arcana, and will add depth and further insight to your readings. So the Chimera, carry dreams away into the deeper depths of dream and unconsciousness. A mythic hybrid creature of strength and cunning, the Chimera represents a symbol of the mystic connection with wild feminine energy, as well as the archetype of transcendent, the trickster, and temper. Okay. Added Oracle cards, you can use them as you wish if you like to use them as altar cards, but I don't necessarily mix them back in to the tarot, because tarot to me is fully just 78 card. This is connected to the majors, the Chimera. The Trickster is connected to fire and the wands. The Trickster may cross boundaries and be entering your life right now. You may be at a crossroads when you stand between one threshold and another. The Trickster. The Muse is connected to cups and water. Presiding over the arts and sciences, the Muses is a profound portal source of creativity and has graced your life. It might be interesting, too, if you decide to take out the aces, right? You have all of these. You could substitute out the ace of cups, wands, swords, and pentacles for these different descriptions, because it seems to be covering the whole kind of aspect. Visionary, which looks like a hot air balloon of wisdom, and the eye is connected to the swords and air. Your imagination has no boundaries right now, and your life is soaring along. And then the Genuous Loki, Earth and Pentacles, is here to remind the Quarian to honor and pay homage to local land spirits and protective spirits of this place. This card encourages you put up an altar to your particular genus Loki, acknowledging your affinity to the nature and responsibility towards the environment around you. I think this is a beautifully stunning deck. It might go into rotation when I'm doing readings outside of reading with the Gustave Doré deck. Again, let's shuffle one more time. So this has been a closer dive into the Taro Chimera by Nitasia Roland, and a closer inspection of the cards are coming up right now, friend.